I'm Sue Boo, bringing crafting to you. Today I'm going to make a tall, slim card, and we're going to have some windows in it, and I'm going to use the snail bungle, and I've got a stamp from the Darjeeling, I think it's called, something like that, set that's in clearance at the moment. You get a punch, 6 lovely stamps in the set: thinking of you, happy birthday, thanks, best wishes, hello, and congratulations, rock star. There is 2 inks in with it as well, and you get a stamping block. So it's a great set in a tin, but it's in clearance at the moment, and I thought I'd take this opportunity to work with it today, as well as a brand new snailed it set. This is actually last year's celebration paper that I've not used up, so I'm going to use that today. So let me give you my card size. So my card size today measures 8.5 by 8.25. So I've scored it at 4 1/4 and folded it down the middle. I'm just going to burnish this. This is lovely lipstick. I'm not sure whether this is still in clearance, but you could use any card size you want, and any colour you want. And this DSP was I don't know whether it was called Bees or something, from last year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the punch, and I'm going to cut out some holes. So I'm going to try and make these fairly even. So this is why I wanted the stripe paper, to try and get them even. So I'm just leaving about 1/4 inch at the bottom, and I'm going in by about 1/2 inch. You can save that because you can use that later. I'm then going to go in from the other side. Now I want to measure this because I've got the line to go in. I've already measured that. That's 1/2 inch. I'm going to measure this at 1/2 inch and put a little mark where the 1/2 inch is. Sorry. So I'm going to put a little mark where the 1/2 inch is, and then I'm going to take my punch and go in and line up with that 1/2 inch, trying to make sure that I get my punch straight. And then I'm going to punch there, and then I'm going to start again from the top. So I'm going to leave 1/4 inch. Let's see, which way do I want it? Oh yeah, this way. So I'm going to leave 1/4 inch roughly at the bottom. Oh, I need to measure this one, don't I? Yeah, so I'm just going to measure in my 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to mark that. I'll put a little mark for myself and take this back in. You get it on there roughly about the same distance from that. There we go. And then I'm going to come in from here, and it's the black line that I need to just line it up with. So hopefully I've got this roughly in the right place. Oh, there we go. There we go. So you should have something that looks like that. Okay, now I'm going to just place my white cardstock on top. So I've got a white layer. Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you the measurements of this. So the stripes that I'm using measures 4 inches by 8 inches, and then the layer that I've got underneath it is 4 1/8 by 8 1/8. So what I want to do is I want to roughly put this in the centre, and then of each of these I'm going to try and put a dot roughly in the centre. Okay, so that's roughly in the centre of each of my holes. So now I've got a rough centre there to be able to print my greeting. So I'm going to have thinking of you. So I'm just going to ink up my stamp and put thinking of you. So I've got a guide and I roughly want that in the middle. So I'm going to try, I think that's roughly about it, and I'm hoping that this is completely right now. So putting that on there, and then that fits in there. That's it. I did that okay. Okay, now I'm going to have a decoration for here. So I'm going to use the smaller stamp. Now, because I don't want to ink up all the stamp, I'm going to use the Stampin' Right marker, because I just want to get the body. I don't want You've Got Mail, so I want to get that on there. So I'm going to get my Stampin' Right marker and no, that's the blue one. Not back, is it? I picked it out already, and yes, I've got it out already. Look, ahead of myself. Okay, so what I am going to do, I'm going to mount it on my block first, and then I'm going to put my fingers over the mail, You've Got Mail, and I'm just going to use the side of my Stampin' Right marker. This is what I really, really love the Stampin' Right markers for. They are brilliant when you just want to ink up part of your stamp. So I'm just going to make sure it goes across and make sure it's all inked up well. There we go, and I'm just going to put my lid so that my ink doesn't dry out. And I can just see, I just want a little bit more in that area. That should be fine, but what I'm going to do is huff on it. That will keep it about right. So I'm hoping this is going to work out. I've not tried this before. Let's have a look on my page. Yep, that's great. So put that to one side, and will I get that? So I want my scene, so I'm going to get my scene and put my scene on there as well. So I'm going to take that off put this one on, and this time I can use my ink pad because I just want this to go on there. So just make sure it's well inked up. There's my, so I want that to be about there. And let's have a look now. Yeah, that's great. And then one more stamp. So I'm going to choose the other snail now that's got the parcels on. So I'm going to do that. Yes, I know. I'm loving it. I really am loving it. Really getting that on there. I don't want to get that on there. I'm just finding it so versatile that you can do so much with it. I'm really, really loving it. So got that about there. So I'm going to make sure that we should have the snail there. Let me have a peep, see what that looks like. And yes, I think I've just about got that in. So that went lovely. Pleased with that. So just move those out of the way. So now all I'm going to do is colour those in. I'm just going to make sure that I've got no ink that's... Oh, I've just smudged that, but that you will not show. So, so I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. So I'm going to turn it upside down because that will give those time to dry. So I'm going to work on this upside down. So I'm going to use my Highland Heather and I'm going to colour in. So I stay away from the edges because it's an alcohol marker, it will bleed. So if you do near the edges but not quite, it will bleed to the edges. Yeah, I'm just do that. There you go. And this is the punch, Hannah, that's on the I think it's Dargin or something it's called. This is on its way to you. I think this is the darker Highland Heather. I don't think it's the light one. There we go. So that's got that in. I am going to go with my Poppy Parade and colour my heart in on my envelope. So, oops, I like to use the other end. So, just very gently. Okay. And I'm going to use a little bit of the blue. So this is dark balmy blue. So I'm going to colour the bottom part of the envelope in dark balmy blue, but then the top part of the envelope I'm going to colour in the light. So I'm now going to do the light balmy blue for the top of the envelope, and that just gives it a little bit of shading without really doing anything. There we go. And then I'm going to use the light Rococo Rose and colour my snail. To go down there, and going to be careful of his mouth because I don't want to drag that black onto it, and just go around there. And just go in between the dots. And just twist it a bit and bring that in there. Okay, so that's my my little snail done. And then if you've, I don't know what that is on there, so I'm going to colour my top part of my mushroom in the dark Poppy Parade. So this is going to be the dark Poppy Parade. go, going round there. Being very careful. There we go. And then I'm going to use my light poppy parade on the underneath. I know you should really do it the opposite way round, but I'm really into doing a lighter shade at the bottom because I really do like the bright red of the poppy parade for the top. And I'll bring in the balmy blue again. I'm going to just bring in there, and that was the light one, and I'm going to shade this one in the darker. Okay, and then I'm going to use the dark Highland Heather. So the dark Highland Heather is going to be the top. And there we go. And then the light Highland Heather I'm going to do underneath. Okay, and I'm using the light Colour Me Clover because I don't have any other greens yet in these stamping blends. I've only got this Colour Me Clover. I'd like to get some more greens. In fact, I'd like to get some more colours in these alcohol markers. These are just so lovely to use. So I barely touch the paper, use it a bit like gentle strokes of a paintbrush, hardly touching it. And there we go. There we go. And then I'm going to do a light grey. This is called Ice Grey, this one, and it's a Spectre Noir one because I haven't got any greys in the Stampin' Up. I'm going to just do the stalk. I'm not sure how much of this is showing, but I will just colour and then we can check in a minute how much is actually showing. Okay, and now I'm going to colour my snail's body of the bottom one. I'm going to colour this in the dark Colour Me Clover. This is very dark. The bottom of his shell, and this one. Here we go, and then going round the rest of the shell. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up the light, and I'm actually going to use the ball side of it, and then I'm just going to go into the bits here. There we go. And I'm going to try something that I've not tried before. I'm actually going to go in and see now whether this is going to lighten this. So I'm going in with my Yellow Daffodil Delight light shade to go in and see if it will lighten. Going in. This little bit. Okay, so see if that's made it any lighter. I'm just going to where's a bit of paper just to make sure that no, there's no green that's come off that whatsoever. So I'm going to colour the top part in my parcel in the yellow. That's going in the yellow, and then what shall I have? There's my underneath parcel. I'm going to go in with my Highland Heather. And then my last part, I'm going to go in the light. Shall I go? Let's see. I think I will go in the yellow. I'm going to go in, is this my light? I'm going to go in for the light. Daffodil Delight. Careful of his mouth. These are starting to run out. And I'm going to have a go at seeing if I can refill it with ink and seeing whether it will refresh it or not, as they are starting to that's taken a little bit of the black, but that'll be fine. Okay, so that is my colouring done. So Stampin' Right markers you get in packs. So Stampin' Right markers are different than the alcohol. So the alcohol comes in a set of two. They're called Stampin' Blends. So you get them as a set of two now, a lighter one and a darker one. Stampin' Right markers you can get in colours, so they both do different things. The Stampin' Right markers are brilliant, how you saw me ink up only that part of the stamp. The alcohol are better for colouring. You can colour with the Stampin' Right markers, but you can't blend them. So they both have purposes. I love both of them. Which one is it? It's one of these two, I do believe, I think. It's not Shaded Spruce, is it, this one? Yeah, the Garden Green at the moment, you cannot get the ink. It's on back order, and Cherry Cobbler. And it was a way of me getting the inks to be able to use. So I got these and used them instead. So that has done that. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop this on here. I'm just going to crease this down again so it holds a bit flatter. And so we're going to pop this on the back. So the alcohol markers, as you can see, bleed through. That's why you need to do another layer. You can't really just do Stampin' Right markers straight onto your base of your card. You need another layer. So I'm going to put this at equal distance all the way round my card. Okay, and then my black and white layer. Just making sure that that fits on and that works out. It's just missed out its eye a bit, but that's fine. It's a bit different. So they peek through. I'm just going to get that all the way round. Now you could put this upon dimensionals to give it added dimension, but I want it to be a fairly flat card for going through the post. So just going to pop that there, and we've got them all peeking through. So you've got a little bit of a seam coming all the way through. Okay, now I wanted to use up scraps today. So I wanted to have something going across the middle. So there's, I don't know whether there's more than ½ an inch. I'm going to start off at 5/8 of an inch. So I just got this scrap of, it's possibly balmy blue. So I'm just going to start at 5/8. And let's see. I think perhaps ½ an inch. So I'm going to take it further down to ½ an inch. So I'll take that 1/4 of an inch off, so there we go. And I'm going to have it going from one side of my card to the other, and that was 4 1/8. So I'm just going to cut that at 4 1/8. So I've got that. Now, wrong thing. So 4 1/8. And I did want to put some vellum on. So I'm going to see, that's a little bit too big. What I want it to kind of go like that. So I'm going to pop it. It's, say, that little bit too big. So I'm going to see. Let's have a look how it looks, or shall I cut it off and just have that? Might just cut it off. So I'm just going to try it and cut off the tails. So I'm just going to see whether it will work with me cutting off the tails. It's just going to be a little bit shorter, and the other will go for it. I'll go for it. So I'm going to cut those tails off. So I've got the tails off. Now remember with vellum that whatever you put on there is going to show. So can't get rid of that off my trimmer. Never mind, I don't need it at the moment. So I am going to stick this on top, so I know that I can run the glue all the way down the centre. So it will be fine to be all the way down the centre on my vellum. Just make sure that that's central, and then I'm going to put my balmy blue on the top. So this will just go a little bit further, and then I'd got some spare that I'd cut off some ribbon. Where's my, here we go. and I just thought I'm going to stick some ribbon on either side, and I'm going to use a label, I thought, from there. Now that's not going to work. That's not going to work how I thought, because I've put my sentiment on there and it's overlapping these two now, so that's not quite going to work out the way I'd envisioned that to work out for a label. So I've changed of plan, and I'm going to do a length here, and I'm also going to make a bow. So just going to make a bow. This is lovely ribbon for tying bows with. Let's do that smaller. There we go. So that's going to go in the middle there. I'm going to get my sharp scissors, I've not got them out. Yeah. And I'll cut that near enough right, and then I'll trim the other bit when it's on. So I'm going to put that in the middle, but I decided I was going to have a bit going across, so I want to just cut this straight, and this I want to run going across there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my tear and tape, and I'm going to put my tear and tape going across the middle. So this is going to go across the middle like this, all across the middle. Use my other scissors because I do not like to get any glue on my best scissors. Just burnish that down. Take this off now. And then get hold of my ribbon. Put it, I'm just again going to cut off the end. Pop that there. Run that across the middle. And then cut at the end. There we go. And then I'm going to get some glue dots out. So we need our glue dots. They're too big. So little glue dots. I'm going to, these are 3mm glue dots. Whoa! And I'm just going to pick up the back of the ribbon, just on the bulky bit, and then pop that in the middle, and then cut my ribbon. Okay, now I've got some jewels, so I'm going to pop some jewels. These are quite big, so I'm going to put on the black, I think. And about down there, and I'm going to put a smaller one down there, and then just one more I'm going to stick on Thinking of You. Okay, so hiya Valerie. So there you go. That is a little, well, it's not little, it's a large slimline card, just to send to somebody, just thinking of them. Just a bit of fun really, with the snails in the background. I think I wish I hadn't have done the dark shade on there. I think I would have preferred a lighter shade going down there and bringing it further down, so it would have been better, but hope you like it. That's using up some materials that I've got, showing how you can use the punch to cut out and stick things behind. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for watching. I shall be back Monday with more crafty fun. Thank you. Bye.